In this video, this is the end result of trying to diagnose why I was wearing so unevenly back here, digging in grooves. You're going to see a Suzuki brake job, caliper change, plus diagnose why, and we'll dive right into that. But before we start, just wanted to say, make sure you take your time and look at the bigger picture. As you see in the video, I take all this apart and I get down to the caliper and I'm focused on a bolt when the caliper was bad, so I didn't even have to do and purchase what I purchased. So like I said, if you're wearing uneven, you either rust build up between the pad and the hardware, bad piston, and then check to make sure you have proper lubricant in these pins, because these are supposed to slide really nice and easy and not be forced or welded like you're gonna see mine was. So hope you like this video. Like, subscribe. Until next time. I have a lug nut key. That's just because I have really old aftermarket rims. So somewhere in my brake system in the rear has failed. Don't know where, so I just bought all the new brakes and rotors, and we'll just tear it all down and do it right and start over. If you have aftermarket rims, don't lose that. Those are important. Alright, it's a spacer. Keeps your wheel steady and straight. You can tell I got some grooves right here. Brake pads look great. So, not sure how it failed. I know on the other side I had my rubber grommets actually completely tore apart, so the sleeves were no good. So we're going to go ahead and take off this rear brake caliper with a 12mm. Top one. Ooh, that's stubborn. Okay, well, that happens. Break out the hammer. Wow. Maybe not. We're off to a pretty bad start here, people. Broke my ratchet wrench. Broke my ratchet wrench. And that sucks. Because if you watch my other video, Cobalt no longer offers lifetime warranty, even though they sell their parts with lifetime warranties. So that is just a broken. Okay, to be fair, they do sell it if it's in store, but if they don't have it in store, which mine no longer does because it switched over to Craftsman. So if one of your caliper bolts are stuck in, it's not the time to panic yet. There's some hope left. We are going to better my odds a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just take off the caliper bracket, which will remove this, because if you look, there's really no room in between, nothing we can grab there. So even if you had like a bolt grip or whatnot, you're still not getting to it. So with the 14 millimeter, we'll go ahead and take out that top bolt. And don't take that all the way out, because this assembly will be heavy. Now, because the caliper is still on, yes, it's going to make this next part very time consuming, but if you come around the bottom, you can work that bolt out. Very long bolts, took forever by hand, but they're still in good shape. Long screwdriver, which of course I wouldn't have with me. Why not? I'm filming, right? And with how hard these are to get off already, I'm starting to see why. There we go. All right. Perfect. Oh, wow. There we go. It sucked. Yeah, definitely had a problem. See if you can see that. Something was going on back here. Oh. Around. There's our chewed up bolt. I do got this one tool that I've been wanting to try at least. Could work, maybe not, probably not. Probably used it before. Oh my, okay, no. I can't even get enough pressure on it, so. This right here, it's called a bolt grip. These things are amazing. This isn't the right size, unfortunately, but I'll try it anyway since it's already ate up. From what I can see, they don't actually make a 12 millimeter. Get a breaker bar. All right, I'm back. It's been a few days. I had to wait for my new bolt grip set to come in. Unfortunately, I had two different kits and neither of them came with 12 millimeter. They go from 11 to 13, go figure. Here's what it is. Here's what it looks like. It's got a nice grip area. Try it the easy way at first. Slide this on. Really digs into that bolt. Okay. That is on there. So what I'm going to switch to is, that's a 3/8, but unfortunately I don't have a 3/8 impact. But what's kind of cool about these is this outside section right here, you can put any kind of socket you want on it. before I get that socket, I'm gonna go ahead and try this with a generous amount of heat. And yes, I know I cooked that rubber, but I got replacements, so I'm not really concerned about it. So it's still not time to panic yet. Unfortunately, with how this e-brake is set up, can't get a full 1/2-inch socket over it. So since that didn't work and we can't get to that bolt, got to remove the e-brake now. I'll bring in here real quick. There's just your standard clip right there. We'll go ahead and get that out. There's that. Pretty standard e-brake. It's probably going to be pretty corroded in here, which it is. Well, essentially, you got to pull this out of here, which will allow you to unhook it through here. Take the spring loose so I can move this arm to get this out. So at least that part's done. Yeah, I'm still stuck on this one right here though. It's locked in there pretty good. Well, that would be the easier, but I don't feel like messing around with it all day. So what we're going to do is just replace this bracket all together. It's a 12 millimeter, 2 bolts holding it on. This is a really good brake replacement video for you guys. I still think the bolt grip's going to work. I really do. Like I said, just get into it. Unfortunately, since it's still on the car, because I don't feel like bleeding out the brakes, it's going to be a little more difficult. I gave up on trying to get this out. Usually they just come right out. There we go. Like I said, here's all it is, just these 2 bolts holding that in. And I can tuck that away. So now we have clear access to this. And now I can actually break out the .19 millimeter with the 12 bolt grip. I'm going to use this one. It's got a lot of torque. Hopefully I can just hit it and rip it off. And this is where you start to realize that this isn't even going to work. And now you panic. This is the part where you panic, because now you're like, well, trying to wedge it in somewhere that can help me hold it. Which this should work. No. All right. Yeah, that bolt's actually completely rounded to the point where the bolt grip won't even grab it, which I've fortunately never had this happen before. And of course, it's got to happen on one of my cars. All right, so it's like, do I really want to? Yeah, crazy. It looks just completely welded on there too. Whoever put this on, I think it was myself. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll see what options. All right, so I have a bad idea, but it's an idea. So instead of buying a brand new caliper that is actually like welded on there, I can't get it to move. I've cooked it like 2 more times off camera, beat it with stuff, still can't catch a grip. So what I did was I slid off the bottom part, the caliper bracket, took that completely off, and I lost it. So yeah, I took that off and just wanted to see. This part right here is just a slide. It actually locks into this. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to cut it off as close as I can to this nut, and then I'm going to drill out the center to bust loose that bolt head. So if not, they're only like $100. So what I'll do is, like I said, I'm going to make a cut right there. So that I can put all new pins in and all that stuff. So never mind, I'm just going to abandon this idea altogether. Now that I see the boot's torn, you know, it's really not even worth saving. Kind of gonna make sure you inspect that stuff before. I'm just gonna brand new one. At least I'll show you guys how to put that rear caliper on for you. Got the new rotor in. Figured before I even put it on the car, it's gonna be much easier. We're gonna go ahead and paint this red. So, gotta start off by tearing it apart. Which, if it's off the car, it's actually gonna be harder than you think. So they put these on here pretty tight. Yeah, see. Grab the hammer. See what I mean? They from the it's not a factory, I would say, but from wherever these remanufactured parts come from. Oh, there we go. And I wouldn't do this if you plan on keeping the warranty. I'm just going out on the whim saying this part's good. I have received remanufactured parts where they're not good. So that's the gamble I'm taking, but I'm okay with it. Took me, I don't know, a couple days to get this, probably 5 or 6 days. Now for those of the ones out there wondering, is it hard to get parts for this car? No. Getting them cheaper. You got to ship them in, and shipping right now is no fun, so it's not something you want to do if you don't have to. But this is my personal car, so to save money, I can wait. Just trying to, there we go. Just trying to peel it off this little lip right here. This is where you want that seal to sit. We want to take out all of this. Without tearing the boots. Hear this? I'll just put some tape over the thread holes and make sure none gets in there, but this is done and ready to paint. Now for this section, we're going to want to remove this bracket. I guess we can leave the bracket. Now I'm going to take off the bracket, screw it. And I'm going to remove that spring. Now you know what, I'm gonna wrap here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wrap this back end, because you can't see it anyways. I don't really wanna mess with any of the safety functions of the spring or any of these mechanisms with paint. So I'm just gonna tape it off right here and just give this a nice paint. All right, we got it taped up as best as I can. You know, if you are unlike me and have a line of cars not waiting for you to finish you on yours, take your time, do a good tape job. Here's the paint that I'm using. Just VHT, stuff you find at AutoZone. Works really good. Up on your screen, I'll try to put a picture of what I've used before. Yeah, because you're gonna wanna just, these are brand new, so it's fine, but anyways, just get them cleaned off, use your brake cleaner. Yours are probably rusty, so take a wire brush. All right. We're just gonna do a nice sweeping motion back and forth. You don't got to do heavy coats each time. You don't have to cover every inch of the surface. Get you off the cardboard. There we go. And we rotate it. Now we'll let this go for 10 minutes and we'll start another coat. So after 10 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and start another coat. See how I'm doing that? It's just gonna be nice and light. And if you got a new caliper like I do, which you probably don't because wouldn't really be necessary, it's going to be kind of annoying because the tape is not going to stick very well just because it is coated for rust prevention, so that is going to be an issue. Alright, so it only requires 2 coats, and after 10 minutes it's dry to the touch. So now we're just going to pretty much just focus on the parts that were not painted for the one final coat. Did not want to paint that, but it is what it is. Could not, like I said, the tape does not like to stick whatsoever. Alright, and that's it. That's the last coat I'll do. And then we're going to move on to, into clear coat. There we go. We're going to go into clear coat. That's after 1 hour. So we'll let this dry for an hour, and I'll get right back with you. An hour has passed. It's all dry. Looks gorgeous already. Very shiny. Now, same process. Now I think with the clear coat it's every 20 minutes. Oh no, it's 10 minutes also. So after 3 coats of clear coat, and this is what you end up with. Beautiful red. So now it's time to rebuild it. Oh, be careful with that. It's been like, let's say wait 3 hours. I think I gave it like 2, so we're good to go. Just put your rubber back in. There we go. There's that. It's easier if you have like a flat head, you shove that down in there, but this will work. Whew. It's full of grease, so. Very, very slick. Now we'll get the new one ready. Slide this up in there. There's 2 tabs. There we go. Unfortunately, I had to chip away some of the paint, but oh well, that'll work. Go ahead and take off this screw and get it ready. Okay, so before I went any further, I went ahead and checked the box. It says make sure you only use the brand new screw supplied. There was no screw supplied. So anyways, it's a 14 millimeter. Break the brake. Hose loose. Like so. Okay, so before I took this off, I went and looked, and it didn't come with any bolts, which says make sure you reuse, or make sure you use the bolt supplied, which they didn't send me one. So it's a 14 millimeter bolt and 12. Oh, it doesn't even have them, so that's okay. That's why they didn't supply it. Awesome. So there we go. You just line it up. There's a little indent on where the bracket should go, where the hose should go. Just get it tight. You don't have to snap it off in there. So anyways, that's what it looks like. This one was done with a paintbrush about 3 years ago, and that's where my original issue was. It's welded. Okay, you can bring them in. It's welded in there. Like I said, that's broken off. So yeah, I can definitely see why I was having really bad wear issues. All right, so as I stated before, you know, you're always going to have these issues with these remanufactured parts. And again, the caliper looks great. It's got the R, everything's for the right, the hinge is for the right. But here's the original, here's the aftermarket. They put this on backwards. So now I'm gonna have to switch that over, which they're just 14 millimeter bolts because, as you can tell, you can't wrap this wire and put it over here. So anyways, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna have to take this out and take this back off, put the old one back on, and then take it over to the vise, and because these things are on there, man. They probably used Loctite, and it's fun. It's fun. All right, now that that's fixed, start over again. It's always a risk you take. I've gotten them where they're already stripped right from them. I've seen that many times before. Okay. Trying to compress this with my hand. Oh, so close. A lot harder than it looks, people. There we go. Now that's how your e-brake's supposed to look. Make sure it's on the same side as the spring. I'll leave a link in the description for the one I purchased because it was a good price, but again, you got those type of issues. Put that on. Put this up out of the way, which is going to suck because now I got to repaint that. Do some touch-up painting on that, which not something I wanted to do, especially since I spent all that time painting in the first place, but that stuff happens. All I'm doing is just adding a lug nut to hold the rotor on. It's been like a week since I started this project, maybe a little bit over a week. But you know, waiting on parts and install the brake hardware. Yeah, try not to paint that area either, if you can help it. Yeah, make sure nothing's rubbing, you know. They're so itty bitty. I'll take that and get that goop off. Keep that nice beautiful red exposed. Well, the caliper bracket is beautiful. The one with the squealer, that goes in the rear. Okay. There we go. Thought that squealer was in the way. It was not. You won't need to compress this. There we go. If you got one of those cubes, that'll work on this one. You don't need that giant brake kit that has 50, 60 different options. Okay, like that. Now, they're 14 millimeter. I just need to find a wrench for the new size. We'll try a 16. Nope. 17 it is. A lot of the times you're gonna, with your aftermarket parts, you're gonna see that obviously different size nuts and bolts. And I'll do the bottom one. So after you tighten up the two 14 millimeter, which that's what they are now, and taped everything off, put some nice touch-up paint, made it bright red again, very beautiful. So anyways, that's done. So that's how you change the caliper, brakes, rotors, plus diagnose why it's wearing unevenly. This is with any car, not just the Suzuki. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this was helpful. It was long, but mission accomplished.